So hi family, as you all know now, the UK is becoming very unfavorable for immigrants. Nes Momo, I don't know if you've heard some of the things that are going on in the UK, the new laws,
the issue with the dependents is so heartbreaking.
So people are starting to look elsewhere. And then I know that because UK is very close to Ireland, that will be an option for some people. But let me also say that nurses are not inclusive of that new rule. It doesn't apply to nurses, it applies to care assistants. But even if you're a nurse or let's say a care assistant or whatever, and then you are considering Ireland, today we are comparing UK versus Ireland because Nurse Momo is in Ireland. Stop that. I've done an interview with her previously where she spoke a bit about herself. So I'll link that video here. So first of all, as a nurse working in Ireland, what kind of visa are you on?
So currently, I'm on a critical skill permit. That's my work permit. Yeah.
Okay. And then usually as a nurse in the UK, you get 3 years. And then after 3 years, you renew. You get another 3 years. And then in your 5th year, you can apply for permanent residency. What is it like in Ireland?
Okay, so in Ireland, most of the contracts are for 2 years. Okay, so you have to be with the same employer for 2 years. That's on your critical skill permit for nurses. Okay, for healthcare assistants, a different type of work permit. Then after your 2 years, you get something called a stamp 4. So what the stamp 4 does is that you are able to work with one or more employers. Then after that, you can now stay in the country for additional 3 years. Then you can now go ahead to apply for your citizenship. So that's how it works.
Okay. So when you're on the critical care visa, you can only work for one employer. You can't work for any other employer.
No.
Oh, for 2 whole years.
For 2 whole years. But you can do overtime. Like you can do overtime with the same employer. I know some people will still do, like they don't really follow the rules, but that's how it's supposed to be. You know, so it's very important. Just have to work with the same employer for 2 years. Then after that, you're now eligible to work with 2 or more employers. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay. And after I get the stamp 4, where I can work for other employers, then after 3 years on the stamp 4, that's together 5 years, and I can apply for citizenship.
Yeah, you can apply for citizenship or permanent stay. It depends on you. You know, some people don't like to renounce their citizenship. Some countries they don't allow dual citizenship, so you can now do permanent stay or you can now apply for citizenship. Yeah.
Okay. So for me or for the UK, when you're applying for permanent, you have to apply for permanent residency before 12 months later you apply for citizenship. But for you, after 5 years, you immediately qualify for citizenship. How much is the application for permanent residency or citizenship in Ireland?
Okay, because of Danielle, I had to do some research. You know, you can't just come here, you know, just giving her quotes. Okay, so after 5 years, the application fee is 175 euros. From the citizenship information, that's what I gathered. And then after that, if it's approved, you have to pay additional 950 euros. Okay, with that, it depends. If it's a minor, it's 200 euros. And then if it's a widow, 200 euros. If it's a refugee, no fee. And then you have a different section for others. That is 950.
So a little over 1,000 euros.
Yeah.
Which is around maybe 900 or 800 pounds.
If it's a little over, it should be around 950 pounds or maybe a bit more. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's better because I paid 3,000 plus.
For?
That's me, the permanent residency application.
Oh, really?
That's how.
Okay, so this is what I found on the citizenship information in Ireland, and I know that definitely is the truth. I didn't see any additional charges, so far that's what I had. So I think Ireland is better anyway.
Wow. But let me also say that for me, I did the priority service, which takes like 5 working days. But even if those who are not giving the priority, they have to pay 2,000 plus. So even if yours is 1,000, a little over 1,000, I think it's still good compared to what we have to pay. Wow. But what I don't like is the fact that for 2 years you have to work for that same employer without any overtime.
I seriously have no issues with that. Because I get to work the same employer, I still take up lots of extra shifts, and you can't even do
the. What if my employer doesn't have extra shifts? So that means I have to just do my contracted hours, and I will not get.
In Ireland, you have lots of extra shifts, so it's settled.
I see. Interesting. Wow. So in the UK, when you are coming as a nurse or a care assistant, you know, before this new thing that they are trying to introduce, you could come with your partner or your spouse, and then your children under the age of 18 years. Okay. What is the case in Ireland?
Okay, so when it comes to Ireland, you know, when you're coming in as a nurse, you have to now complete your what we call the adaptation or the RCSI. Okay, but in the case of someone who has straight PIN, the person is just coming to work. Okay, so that is a bit different. But if you're coming to complete your exam, you have to now come into Ireland and then complete your examination. When you are done with that, because the difference is that in the UK you have to do the CBT at home, but as you have to do both the CBT and then the OSCE in Ireland. So you have to come into Ireland, complete that. When you are done, per what they said on their website, you can now apply directly for your dependents. Okay. So, however, you still need some pay slips, at least 6 months or 3 month pay slips. At first, I know people were waiting for like 6 months before they applied, but I know people who actually waited for like 2 months and then did apply, and then they now have their family in Ireland. So the difference is that for Ireland, you have to come into Ireland, complete your examination. When you're done, then you can now apply for your family.
So approximately how long should you be there before you can apply for your family?
3 months, because you now have to, for adaptation, it's 6 to 12 weeks. And then when you are coming in for the exams, for that, it depends on the date that was booked. Okay, so that's the difference. So someone who came to write the exams might be able to apply earlier than someone who came to do the clinicals, what they call the adaptation.
Which takes like 12 weeks, 6 to 12.
Yeah, 6 to 12 weeks. Yeah.
And if you are going through the adaptation route, you have to finish adaptation before you can apply for your, and then before you can apply. Okay.
Yeah. So you finish your adaptation, you get your PIN. Then when you get your PIN, then your employer now has to apply for a work permit, which is like 2 to 4 weeks. Then when you get your work permit, you can now gather some other documents and then apply for your family. So approximately like 3 months.
So if I get the work permit, I have to wait to get 3 months pay slip after getting the work permit before I apply.
So on the website, it says 6 months pay slip. I just want to stick to that for on their web, what it says. But like people, you can use 3 months and it still works. Okay.
So let's say I came through the adaptation route. I did 12 weeks of adaptation. After that, I get a work permit, right, from my employer.
Yeah.
I've already spent 12 weeks. So then I now have to spend 6 more months before I get to bring my family.
So that's where I got you. In Ireland, during the adaptation, you are being paid.
Yeah.
So you get a stipend from the government, which is about 2,000 per month, roughly something like that. So during that period, you still get pay slips. So you can attach that and then add it up.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be 6 months after the work permit.
Yes. Yeah.
So as long as you have enough pay slips, let's say 6 months, you can use. And for those coming straight away to write the exam, for them, immediately they start like actual work and they gather 6 months pay slips, they can.
Yes.
But sometimes you can apply with 3 months and it will be accepted.
3 months, yeah.
This video is proudly sponsored by TransferGo. Anytime I come here, it's because, I'm getting some sort of sponsorship from some of these companies that keep me going. And one of them is TransferGo. As you can see, I'm repping TransferGo today. TransferGo, if you're wondering what they are, if you're a stranger on this channel, is an international money transfer app that allows you to send money from the UK and other EU countries to over 34 different African countries. Did you hear me? To over 34 different African countries. Not loads of apps beat this. You can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, and many other African countries. If you haven't tried it, I don't know what you're waiting for. With TransferGo, in at most 30 minutes, the person is going to get the money, and your person gets the exact amount that you're sending. And as you send the money, you can actually track the transfer to see whether the person has gotten it, where it is in the the whole transfer process. It's very easy, hassle-free, very convenient. And what I love about them is their customer support. If you should have a problem and then you contact them, they are very prompt, they are very quick to respond to your query and attend to you and sort everything out for you. They are authorized by the UK Financial Conduct Authority. TransferGo is currently being used by over 5 million users worldwide. And when you check transpilot.com, they are rated the best money transfer app. Yes, the best money transfer app on transpilot.com.
And guess what? TransferGo is giving you €70 if you invite 2 friends to join TransferGo. Oh yes, €70 for each 2 friends you invite. This promotion starts on the 4th of December 2023 and ends on 2nd of January 2024. The first friend you invite, you get €20, and then the second friend you invite to TransferGo, you get €50. So for every pair, you make €70 from TransferGo. I mean, come on, this is the best Christmas present you can ever get from anywhere. Remember, it starts on the 4th of December 2023 and ends on the 2nd of January 2024. Invite 2 friends and earn £70. Thank you so much, TransferGo, for this amazing offer, and thank you so much, TransferGo, for sponsoring today's video.
And if you are coming, what's the age?
So with the age, when it comes to the dependents, I don't know for UK, but for in Ireland, I think it's 16 years, and then for children that are like 17 to 18, if you can prove okay, if you can prove, there's a clause that they are into full-time education, they have any illness, or they depend solely on you, then you can bring them. I know a lady, a nurse, that was able to bring her children that were over 21 years. She had her own special situations that she was able to prove that her children were dependent on her, and then she was able to bring them. So you have those special, cases like that can equally allow your dependent to come in. Yeah. And then you have your husband as well, your spouse as well. I know you are able to bring your parents as well. So
Ireland, able to bring your parents?
Oh yes, if you're able to prove that your mom or your dad is solely dependent on you, cater for their medical expenses and all that. So just as I said, it depends on the situation. Yeah.
Wow. What then? That means in a way the UK beats Ireland in the dependent category because because for us, even before you step foot here, you can. I know people whose husbands, like a lady in my church, her husband came before her. She was she was the nurse. I mean, you're able to bring your dependent from day one. But what happened was that when they got the COS to be able to apply for the visa, right? Yeah. The company was supposed to book her flight and they delayed. At that time, her husband had already booked their flight, his flight. So he was able to come look for a house before the main applicant who was coming to work.
Applicants didn't arrive.
Yes. So you see, like in Ireland, you can actually come, and then sometimes people also need some, emotional support and support with their spouse, are especially going through OSCE the first few months.
Yeah.
Some people now have to go and look for a place on their own. So as you are going for OSCE lessons, your husband will be going around looking for a place for you. So sometimes it's helpful. In that sense, I can say that maybe UK beats Ireland in that sense. Do you understand?
Yeah. I just remembered.
Yeah. And also another part is that for UK, from the very beginning, children under age of 18 are allowed. But for you, it's up to 16, right? And then
it's up to 16.
If you're above 16, you now have to prove that you are in full-time school, or maybe due to some medical condition or blah, 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 you are fully dependent on your... Okay, so in that sense, I would say that UK is a bit lenient. You wanted to say something,
Yeah, I wanted to chip in the fact that I think I saw a visa some time back where I think your spouse is able to escort you, and they have a term for it. I can't remember, but it's more like escorting visa. My wife is going to do something, or my husband is going to do something, and I need to go with her. They have a visa category like that, but most people do not really make use of it from my experience.
Okay. But the fact that what I like about yours is that even if your child is above 18 and you can prove that this child, let's say, is autistic or is what and is fully dependent on you, you're allowed. A lady called me, she's crying because her child sort of like has health issues that makes him very dependent. Although he's above 80, he can't do anything by himself. And she's here and she thought she'd be able to gather money and bring this child over, yet they keep denying her the visa. And she says there's no way she can stay in the UK without that child. That child cannot do anything. And she's applied, they said she cannot, okay? There's no way she can bring that child in. So she was now exploring other pathways. She's a care assistant. So if, let's say, she was in Ireland, she could have maybe been able to...
She could have, yeah. Ireland does not play with special kids at all, especially kids in general. Yeah.
So that is where you guys might beat us, in that sense.
It's not like we might beat you, we beat you over there.
In that sense. But in terms of coming together with your defendant, and then in terms of the age, like the basic one, without having to prove so many things, I think for that one we are good. But in terms of having older kids that have the needs, you guys beat us in that sense. Agreed?
Agreed.
The last time my interview with you, I think you mentioned that your kids get benefits, they get allowance from the government. Maybe I didn't hear you all. Can you repeat, please?
Oh, definitely. Because I'm going to beat you on that part, so I have to emphasize on it. So when it comes to some of the benefits, okay, we have a lot of social welfare benefits, not just child benefits, okay? So when it comes to child benefits, every child is entitled to 140 euro. And then when it comes to, that is if it's a single child. I know when it comes to twins, it's a bit higher. I think the same amount plus half, sort of, if I'm not lying. Then if it comes to triplets, there is more. So if you have twins, you have more advantage. If you have quadruplets, you have more advantage. If it's a single child, you still get 140 euros, so which is still good. So if you have 6 children, you get 140 times 4. Okay, that is not for you, the next I'll have to emphasize is for the kids. So you have to save for them, and also it also helps with some of their basic things. School is free, but some few things that they might also need. And then usually the government also gives a lot of bonuses when it comes to Christmas. Okay, this month, okay, the government actually allocated, I think the child benefit is going to be ×2 the amount for parents, just because it's the Christmas and all that. And they also have some specific monies that are usually given out to take parents, like when their kids are going to school. It's not, those ones are not compulsory, but it usually comes a lot, okay, within the year to support their books, their uniforms, and some other things. So the government is very supportive of parents. You don't have to be a citizen for you to enjoy those benefits, okay? You also have maternity benefits where
I can't even believe it. So as a migrant, you are getting 140 for each child that you have.
Yes.
Up until what age?
Up until I think 16. And then from 16 to 18, I think from 17. Yeah. And then 17.
If you have 4 kids, that alone can take care of groceries for the month.
Yeah. Or even less.
Wow.
You don't have to spend that much on groceries, seriously. It depends. If you consume more African food, then definitely yes. We all know that. Yeah.
Wow, that's very good.
So with the child benefit, when it's 17 to 18 years, if they can prove that they are into full-time education, then they still get something like that. Okay. And then you have lots of benefits. We have the maternity benefit, where there is an allocation of about 262 per week for 126 weeks. You also have paternity benefits. You have something called fuel allowance, job seekers allowance, or job seekers benefits. You have a lot of benefits. So for us to fall in that category, or you're able to prove that you need it at that point, you still get it. Okay. So when it comes to
if you're an immigrant, if you don't have
no. We call something ordinary resident. So the ordinary resident is a resident that has been in Ireland for a year or tends to live in Ireland for more than a year. Okay, so if you fall within that category, you can actually apply. If you're able to add some document that shows, okay, that you fall in that category, definitely you're going to get that benefit. Yeah.
Wow. Hey. So in terms of benefit, you beat us hands down. No debate at all.
For that one, I beat you hands down. Like the full allowance, I just had 150 euros. Towards, because it's the winter, okay, so the government allocated 450 euros for the winter just to support citizens. So I got 150 euros this December, and then I think in January I'll get another 150, and then I think in March or something I get 150 just to help with the fuel expenses. So such things the government is very supportive.
The government is such a darling. Hey, wow!
I have to convince you, and then beat your hands down.
Wow.
So yeah. Just to say that some of these benefits too, you have to be able to pay social insurance. We call it the PRSI, some of the benefits for a certain period of time before you can qualify. I'm not going to say much, but if anybody wants to really know much, you can go to citizens information and then read on it, because it's very important for you to have all these things handy. Yeah.
If you, as an immigrant, you give birth in Ireland now, before you get permanent residence, is your child automatically Irish? Does your child qualify to get an Irish passport? Or just like the UK, there are some conditions?
There are some conditions. It's not automatic. No.
What are the conditions?
But if your child is able to stay in the country from what I read, okay, I had to do a lot of research, but from what I read, if your child is able to stay in the country for, I think, 3 years, plus additional 1 year, you can apply for them. So if in this case, my child might even get citizenship before I do, because I have to wait for 5 years. My child will not have to wait for 5 years. And then if the child's parent, like one parent, is an Irish, then you can also get it, those conditions. Or grandparents, are Irish, they can also apply for it. So they have all these conditions. Yeah. Okay,
so in the UK as well, if a child is born to parents where one parent has permanent residency or citizenship, you qualify.
Yeah, definitely. That is also, yeah.
But what I read as well is, even if you are in Northern Ireland, although Northern Ireland is UK, even if you are in Northern Ireland, because you are on Ireland soil,
you still get it. Yeah.
If you have lived in Northern Ireland for 3 years before you gave birth, your child qualifies for an Irish passport.
Yeah.
But when I gave birth, I had lived here for 2 years and some months. So if my baby had delayed a few months, I could have applied for Irish passport for him. Is it a case with you as well? If after 3 years,
I think with Ireland, they even give some benefits to those from the UK as well. I think when you're with one parent even from the UK, it's still something like that. For you to become a citizen in Ireland, I think they have lots of options which are very much favorable for those in the UK as well. So that's very good. That's a plus.
So you, after living in the Ireland for 3 years, let's say you live in Ireland and you give birth, do you automatically get citizenship for your child, or you're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Talking about the child living here for 3 years plus 12 months. No, I'm talking about you as the mother.
No,
because in Northern Ireland, you
okay.
Yeah.
I know someone who was living in Ireland, but the person was not in stamp 4. Okay, she lived in Ireland for some time, and then after she delivered, she was given stamp 4 immediately. Yes, but I've not heard the issue of citizenship. No.
So what's the average salary for an Irish nurse?
So I think the entry level is about 33,193, and then that after tax it should be around 28,039. So I think monthly it should be around 2,766 after tax. Yeah, that's the entry level. Yeah,
the difference is not that much with ours, so I'll take.
But there is a still remember that it depends on your years of experience. That's the difference. So in Ireland we don't have something called starting from band 5. Someone might earn way more than this, depending on the person's experience. If you don't have any experience at all, that's where you get the 33, whatever. Someone might get like 52,000. I even know people that even came in there get like 55. Okay, and also depends when you're going to the HSC. It might be the same skill rate, but if you are going to the private hospital, some of them would like to scale it up because they are not able to meet the premiums for that of the HSCs.
So I think that in terms of considering your years of experience, maybe Ireland will beat UK. Because when I was coming on the same day, I came with a lady called Priscilla.
Okay.
And Priscilla was like a matron in Ghana, yet she was starting at the same level as me. That's UK for you. Meanwhile, me, I had just finished university just like some few months ago. So I think that when it comes to that, maybe your Ireland will be good. But the entry level salary, I think the difference is not much, especially because
the entry, considering that someone who has, let's say, 12 years of experience or 13 years of experience is making over 52, assuming that, and then maybe you like someone who is just a starter is also making 33. If you look at the difference, it's almost like 10,000 euros per annum, so it's a huge difference. Which makes Ireland beat UK 100 times on this.
It's okay, relax.
This is the main point I can actually get you on, so I don't have to play around the side.
Oh, I see. I think that is good. Is healthcare free in Ireland?
That's where you get me. Healthcare is not free in Ireland. Okay, so it's free for children up to, I think now it's been increased to 8 years. Okay, last year was 7 years. I know this year the budget that was read, it was 8 years. So when you have kids that are 8 years or below, they are eligible to apply for what is called a GP visit card. Okay, the GP visit cards give them free GP visits plus some blood tests. Okay, and then maternity is free in Ireland till delivery, 6 weeks post-delivery, medications and other services, they are all free for maternity. But apart from that, it's not free. They have other schemes. We have something called the drug payment scheme, where if you have a large family, you're able to register and then you make a payment of, I think, 80 euro per month. And then you're not supposed to spend more than that. If assuming within a month, let's say, God forbid, but I have kids, so maybe they keep on getting sick, I'm not supposed to spend more than an amount in a month. If I do that, the government will refund. Okay, so they have some schemes that actually help families as well. Apart from that, you can also register with some insurance, okay, just to help you out. So yes, that's for Ireland.
Wow. So have you ever gone to a hospital recently, where you have to pay, and how much did you pay?
I think GP visits about 50 to 60 euro. I know it's within that. Yeah.
For that one time. And then when you have to do blood tests, you pay for the blood test. When you have to do other things, you have to pay. Do you know that amount you have to pay for the blood test?
I haven't been to the hospital since I came here. So
I think that's
good.
So we beat you on that.
Yeah, definitely beat me on that. Yeah.
But even in Northern Ireland, even if you have headache, right? And then you call your GP and say, I have headache, instead of just going to the pharmacy to go and buy. Just go and buy paracetamol. If I decide that I will not go to the pharmacy and I'll call my GP. In Northern Ireland, I don't know about England. I hear that in England, it's not like that in all places. No, like healthcare is free, but I'm talking about of buying the medication.
Medication.
If the paracetamol was written to me as a prescription in Northern Ireland, you will not pay.
Oh.
Even antibiotics, whatever, or no matter how expensive the medication is, so far as it was a prescription, you will not pay. Even if it is over the counter paracetamol, even if it is something for constipation, like a laxative, you will not pay. So far as it's a prescription. Okay, but now I was told that in England, some places you have to pay for the medication. But when you're going to hospital, you're not paying. When you're seeing the GP, you are not paying.
You're not paying.
And I think that's one thing that the UK boasts of, that free healthcare, blah, blah, blah. But now people are even struggling to access the free healthcare.
See, that's the challenge.
People are waiting 4 hours to be seen, although they are critically ill. So now people have started using private health insurance, even though they're in the UK. Those who can afford it, they are still going to private hospitals. I mean, because it's just, sometimes things are some way, you see. In terms of the cost, let's say it's better. It's better. Because imagine somebody who's so broke that does not have that £60 or €60 to go and see the GP, right?
Yeah.
And the person is critically ill. Here, you are not afraid that you're going to, you don't care how much your account balance is.
Yeah.
As far as you have, even a pimple, you go to see the GP. You understand?
Yeah. So I think Ireland, they have a category of people that get medical services for free. They have the medical card. So the medical card, it also depends on your income. So I think that's where it benefits some people. So if you don't earn much, you get free medical services. So it depends. But we, the nurses, we don't fall in that category. You can go for the drug payment scheme, something like that, just to assist you. Yeah.
So do you have insurance in place for your family?
Okay, so I'm working on getting one for my family, but I have people that actually got one for their family, and I know someone pays, I think, €100 for a family of 4, okay, and then €110 for a family of 5. So it depends on the type of insurance you also want. It's everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So your final was, if you are given 1 minute to convince somebody to choose Ireland over UK, what will you say?
Okay, so in this sense, I'm going to talk. If the person is a nurse, okay, I always use this as my major point, that in Ireland, please, you are paid based on your experience, which I think is the major thing over UK 100 times, because you are being paid based on on your work, okay? So you don't have to start from the scratch. I always tell people, and Ireland is a very lovely country. It's a country that's very welcoming, especially for family, family people. So if you want a very place that's more, conducive, I would say that please come to Ireland. And then education, just like UK, is also free up to some stage, okay? And there are lots of benefits in Ireland, okay? And the Irish passport is very, very strong. If finally after 5 years you get your Irish passport, please, you get to travel to over 150 countries, like opening. So please, Daniel is going to translate that. So please choose Ireland. Ireland has lots of benefits, and they are very lovely people. Genuinely, Irish people are very welcoming, and I love that.
Okay, if you are waiting for me to convince you to choose UK, I don't have any words for you, because I'm tired of UK. I'm tired. Okay.
No, she's not.
Say that the healthcare system being free is major, and the peace here, UK is, but I think Ireland is safe as well. So
it's more peaceful.
Yeah. I mean, we've said it all. So you listen and compare for yourself. So Nesmomo has, a charity organization that assists people in underprivileged communities.
Yeah.
So I will leave some of the pictures of what she's done so far on the screen. And then if you want to know more, I'll leave a link to the website on the screen as well. Go and then support her. Thank you so much, Nesmomo.
Thank you so much, Danielle. It's a privilege. Thank you. Bye.